Hey everyone, Culp once again, and welcome back to reviewing the Friday the 13th franchise. And now we've come to another favorite of mine in the franchise, and I would say this one's one of the most. I think this one's the most underrated one in the franchise. This one gets a lot of hate. I don't get it though, but it's also understandable at the same time. This is a hell of a lot better than Jason Takes Manhattan. I would say this one's the most underrated in the franchise, and that is Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday, which the Final Friday is not up there, but at the same time, it's still not the Final Friday because we still get more. We got more of them, so. But I really enjoy this one. Um, it's like I said, it's the most underrated one, at least to me, in the franchise, and. And I would say it's the bloodiest of the. I would say. Yeah, I would say This was definitely much more. It's much more bloodier than all the other previous films in the franchise so far. Well, if you count the next one though, but this one's definitely has the one of the gore. It's definitely the goriest. Um, and it's directed by Adam Marcus, which he didn't really go on to do much. It's too bad though. He directed a film later after this called Let It Snow, which I've not seen. Sean S. Cunningham, the director of the first film, he's producing on this one. And I think he dislikes this one, I think. If so, which I don't see why. Well, he has a right to his opinion, though, but I don't see why. What's to dislike about it? But Jason it goes to Hell, released in 1993, so it's 4 years after Jason Takes Manhattan, and this is the first one that's now under the release of New Line Cinema because due to the poor critical and box office wise of the previous one, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Paramount's had enough of their franchise, had enough of their franchise, so they gave the rights to New Line Cinema. So now, after this, because now New Line Cinema owns the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. After this, they set up for Freddy vs. Jason 10 years after this. But and this one also it was not well received by critics. As well as all the previous ones. Once again, it's much higher than Jason Takes Manhattan. This is a 24% Rotten Tomatoes, and this is a 4.3 on IMDb. I think it's lower than Jason Takes Manhattan. I think the hate is understandable though, but I don't think it's. I would defend this film. This is the Friday the 13th film I would defend a lot. Kane Hodder, he comes back as Jason Voorhees. Well, he's not Jason for, his real true form, not for most of the movie though. But when you see Kane Hodder, it's still good to see him still. And also another good different look of Jason. I don't mind that look of Jason. You know, and also the look of his mask, sort of it's like melded into his face. The way that way it looks. But part 7, The New Blood, that's still the best look for Jason, without a doubt. And you get stars John D. Lemay, which I think this guy did a really good job. I think he definitely held his own. He kicks a lot of ass in this film. He didn't go on to do much at all. Like he was in an episode of Friday 13th series, which has nothing to do with Jason. Other ones other stuff that I'm not too familiar with though, but this guy John D. Lemay, he did a really great job in this film, and it's like it's one of the few horror films where your lead is a guy let alone in a slasher film. It's like which reminds me of like Josh Stewart from The Collector and The Collection, which he did a really great job. I liked him in both those films, and of course with Bruce Campbell in the Evil Dead films. And the film is on for without end credits. It's for 91 minutes without the end credits, so it's under 90 minutes, and it really goes at a good pace. And that's for supporting cast. You got Kari, Keegan, who plays Jessica. Erin Gray, who plays Diana, who's the mother of Jessica. Stephen Culp, who plays the name of Robert Campbell. He's like the news anchor guy. Rusty Schwimmer, I think she plays like the diner owner Joey. I think I remember she was in the beginning of Twister. She was the mother of the young young Joe when she was a kid at the opening of the movie. I think she played the mother of her in Twister. I think I remember that was her in that. And once again, King Hodder coming back. Kipp Marcus, is he like the brother or is he a cousin of Adam Marcus? He's the younger brother of director Adam Marcus. He plays Randy. He's one of the deputies that's like friends with John D. Lemay's character Steven. And you got Stephen Williams, who plays the bounty hunter Creighton Duke. And I like Stephen Williams in this film. He's been in a few other stuff. And I think Stephen Williams, well, I think was in the new movie It, the new one. This kid that came out that's making a ton of money. I think he's in the. I remember in It, which I'm not a fan of. I think he's in the film, Stephen Williams. I think he plays. I can't remember where he's in the film. I think he's like I think he's the grandfather of the younger boy of the group. The losers club. I think. Okay, let me look that up again. I can't remember of that. But I like Stephen Williams in this. I thought he did a good job in this film, and it's too bad when he dies. So Stephen King's It. Yeah, it says here that he's the grandfather of Mike Henlon. Yeah. I think I almost didn't recognize that was Stephen Williams who was in It. Yeah. I almost didn't recognize the guy. This kid's like much older now. But Stephen Williams, I thought he did a good job, and so he's like he knows all the things about Creighton Duke. He knows all the things about Jason, like which people don't like about all the stuff they throw in about Jason, like he has a sister and all like the spiritual stuff, like the dagger, and with a Voorhees he can be reborn, or through a Voorhees he can be killed by a Voorhees. All that stuff. That's what people did not like about the film, is all that stuff they put in. And Jason jumping into one body after another, which that's one of the things that people don't like about the film. But those do not bother me. It's something that's different in the Friday the 13th films. Jason Takes Manhattan. He's in different environments. Here they do like a little different type of things, including with this didn't look like that though, but like this demon look like thing for Jason. Also, that's like Jason is now looks like a little demon now. Those stuff didn't bother me in this film. It didn't. And the Harry Manfred Dean once again comes back to do the score, and it opens up with this girl who's like in Camp Crystal Lake, and she gets chased by Jason, but really enough, it's a trap by the FBI. They shoot him, and then they blow him to bits. good explosion of Jason being blown to bits, and then Creighton Duke, Stephen Williams, he's watching, and he's like, I don't think so. So now, Jason's parts are being taken to the morgue, and there's these two security guards, and one of them is played by Kane Hodder. He plays a role of as a FBI security guard. So the guy who's the coroner is played by Richard Jant. I remember him. He was in Rocky V. He was like the the manager for Tommy Machine Gun or some in Rocky V. You know, it's like when Rocky was telling Rocky's like, "Don't you touch me or I'll sue," and Rocky says, "Go ahead, sue." And I remember he had also a minor role in the 1998 Godzilla film. So it looks like Jason's heart is kind of like being hypnotized by it, and goes and eats it, and it's a really like a disgusting thing. He goes and eats the heart, and then he gets possessed by Jason, and he kills this other coroner. Good gore effect where he stabs with a thing, and you see like his head being pressed through the table through the holes. And he kills the two security guards when Kane Hodder is like, "Oh, Jason, he was a big old pussy anyway." And with the news, he shows them they're all dead. And now the diner, when they're having like this Jason Voorhees burger 2-for-1 sale, making burger patties into hockey masks. Creighton Duke is there to tell about Diana that, but you know who you are and you need to stop Jason. She doesn't believe because she believes that Jason's dead and all that. And he gets getting arrested. And Steven, who John D. Lemay, it was a relationship with Jessica, and she has a baby, and that's his baby as well. And Diana tells him to come to her place to talk. And then he as he's driving, he picks up some campers. They go camp in the woods. While one couple has one having sex in a tent, and one of the other girls, she gets slashed up by the coroner, now possessed by Jason, slashes her up. And you get one of the best brutal death scenes in the franchise, where the couple in the tent, they're having sex, and the guy the possessed Jason coroner possessed by Jason, sticks a metal pole right through the woman and just really ramps up and splits her in two. Really cool, gory, brutal death scene right there. It sticks right through her and just rips her in half. I love that scene. That's definitely. So you get a good brutal death scene like that, while the kills in Part 7 is cut. You know, very lackluster. Lack of blood and gore and all that. They cut all that stuff off, but they got this though, which is a cool, brutal death scene and gory as well. Well, I guess now they're no longer owned by. This one's no longer owned by Paramount, so they can do what they want with it now, with the gore and stuff. And then Jason possesses this deputy, which it's like the least. It's like a scene straight out taken out of a film from, I think it was in the 80s, called The Hidden, with Kyle MacLachlan. It's this thing where they take leashes come out of the people's mouths, and it's like this right here. The possessed coroner gets into his mouth, and then he's possessed, and now Jason's possessed into that body, and starts attacking Diana, and shoots him in the head, and then Steven gets there, and you see you see the deputy that Jason's possessing the guy. He sees, look in the mirror, he sees a reflection of his true self. And then she kills Diana with this knife sharper through her back, and Steven shoves him out the window, and the sheriff gets there and thinks that Steven did it. Gets locked up with Creighton Duke. And that was I like to see where he tells that Jason's alive, but Diana, he needs to, and he wants to, how to kill Jason. And Creighton Duke's like, information like that is very expensive. You need to pay the price. and to pay the price, he breaks one of his fingers to get information. And he breaks another finger, and he's like, like, all right, tell me. He's like, this one's on the house. So he tells the whole thing with through a Voorhees, maybe you were born through a Voorhees that he can be killed by. So he makes a thing to make Randy open the door, to let him out, locks him in. And then when he goes to the Voorhees house to look for information, you see you do get appearance by the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead. It was nice to see that. And then later towards the end of the film, down below in the cellar, you see the crate from Creep Show. Nice. It was nice to see that as well. But then that news anchor guy, Campbell, he gets possessed by Jason. You get a really good gore effect where the other guy, he just goes and melts, and then realize that the effects team by this is done by Can B, Robert Kurtzman and Greg Nicotero, the makers of does the makeup on the Walking Dead. Really good bloody special effects in this film. Really good. And yeah, so long before they did Walking Dead, they did good. They did stuff on like this, like Jason Goes to Hell, and I know they did the effects on Crocodile, Tobe Hooper's film, with making the crocodile stuff. But before all that stuff, so yeah, before The Walking Dead, they help do the effects on this, and did a really great job, like good effects of the guy melting. You see like the jaw stick to the floor, melting with nothing but skeleton. Good effects. And now that Campbell's possessed by Jason, he goes after them. So he attacks Jessica, and it's another stupid thing. Steven saves her, runs the guy over, runs him over, and then backs up, and he's like, I killed him, right? Yeah, and that's not Jason. He saves her by that, but he shoves him out. She shoves him out of the car. Like, oh, you killed him, and goes to the police station. I'm like, he saved you for being killed by this guy, and you just kick him out of the car, and you say you killed him, and go to the police station. I'm like, you dummy. You're just a dummy for that. But. And then you get the more funny back and forth between Kipp Marcus and John D. Malay, where Randy punches him. He's like, "Oh fuck this," and gets him, tackles him, and he's like, "You get in the car." It's like, "Oh fuck you, you get in the car." "Oh yeah, oh, I got a gun." "No, I got a gun." They both look just holding at each other. I like that bit. It's a good sense of humor on that. And it's like, "Where is Jessica?" "She's down the station." "Who's down the station?" "Cuff me." And the possessed Campbell, hits does like this to the sheriff's nose, but he's still alive though because he sits in the later of the film. And I like the part where Steven, he sees Jessica being attacked, and he jumps he unhooks himself, he jumps to he's chained like this, and he jumps them to make the handcuffs like this, like, "Jessica!" I like when he does that and elbows the guy, Randy, to knock him out. Starts shooting at Jason, even pull a bullet shoots him in the head. And then two other deputies, good effect where Jason goes and smashes their heads together. And now Jessica believes him. And then it went up to the one point where they go to the diner. They go to the diner where Joey thinks they know because they said that Steven's a felon. He escaped from prison, and then the ward. He gets killed when the Jason breaks his arm and slams against the door, and they're shooting at him some more, and then you get the guy named what's his name? Think was his name Pokey or something. Jason sticks his face in the fryer, and he get another cool death where Joey, she gets her thing where Jason just elbows her and he shoves her like a freaking like lower mouth and chin right into her face, like caves in, just like she was like pushed into her face. That was like another cool death right there. And then you get the waitress that was friends with Jessica. She starts shooting him and tries to stab him and gets her head crushed and blood splatter. Jessica gets a note from Duke that he has the baby, but can go to the Voorhees house alone. And then you see that it's one. You see clearly it's one cop, and then we don't know who it is. But then it gets possessed by the Jason, and Duke tells Jessica, "You're the only one who can stop him." He throws to the dagger and it changes to like this big, like this mystical dagger. And then Duke, he falls through the floor. Then the sheriff, who got his nose bashed in, he's still alive. Then Randy comes in, shoot him, and or kill him. And then she stabs the sheriff, but he's not the one. It's Randy who's possessed. Who's gonna take the baby and possess the baby. But then, badass of Steven takes the machete and just goes and cuts Randy's head open through the neck, and the demon of Jason comes out, attacks him, good little puppet, and throws down to the basement where the body of Diana is down there. And he's telling Duke, Duke, the whole thing about him being reborn through a Voorhees, does that have to be a live one? No, Duke, that thing is down there with Jessica's mother. And Stephen Williams like, holy mother of God. And then Jason, his true form pops out. Kane Hodder once again tries because they drop the dagger under the dresser and falls to the floor, and Stephen Williams does like the self-sacrifice where he handcuffs him and to this part of the furniture. He's like, son of a bitch, you remember me? And then Jason breaks his back like, today, my friend, you will die. And Steven's like, Duke. And that's too bad. I like Stephen Williams. He was a cool character, and I liked him. It was too bad that he died. Yeah, so he gets his back broken, and then Steven goes like, you motherfucker, and tackles Jason right through the window. And he's just hitting Jason. Jason's beating him up, hits him with a stick, and then throws him to like this jungle gym. He's just beating the crap out of him until Jessica gets the dagger and stabs it right through him, and then kicks it right into him some more. Then it opens up the gates of hell. Just the hands from hell are just dragging him down. I like the fact where just how it just drags him down, just. And then Steven and Jessica, they just walk off with the baby. And then gets the cool ending where Freddy Krueger's hand pops up from hell and grabs the mask. And the arm of Freddy Krueger is also Kane Hodder once again. He plays Freddy Krueger's clawed hand that grabs the Jason mask. So he does 3 roles. He plays Jason, an FBI guard, and he does play kind of like plays as Freddy, but the clawed hand. And I always enjoy that where it's Freddy Krueger, which sets up for Freddy versus Jason. Just takes the Jason mask and drags him down to hell. I love that ending. Now that of course it sets up the idea for Freddy vs. Jason, but it's been developed in hell for a long time, so they waited till 2001. They needed a Jason film, so they made Jason X, and then 2003 was Freddy vs. Jason. So, but Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. I really enjoy this film. This is definitely the most underrated in the series. I understand the hate for it, though, but at the same time, I completely disagree with it. I really enjoy this film. Different ideas in this film, which people don't like, but I do. They don't bother me at all. think it shows that Sean S. Cunningham. I don't think he's not a fan of the film at all either. It's his opinion though, but I would disagree with that. I would definitely disagree with the low ratings that the film has gotten. John D. Malay, he was definitely a kick-ass character for a male lead in a slasher film. Shooting Jason and just tackles Jason, starts beating him up, and Kari Keegan. She's not my favorite of the lead lady in the Friday the 13th films. Like I like Laura Parr Lincoln from Part 7. I definitely like Amy Steele in Part 2. Yeah, I think that those are the two of the best female leads in the franchise. Well, of course, the stupid thing where she kicks Steven out of the car. I think he's crazy after he saved her. That's the one stupid thing she does. So that's maybe call her like, oh, that's one of the things I don't think she's not the best of the leading ladies in the franchise. The rest of the cast, supporting cast, they were there. I like Stephen Williams as Creighton Duke. It's too bad that he died. I liked him. I like the score by Harry Manfredini. Good directed by Anna Marcus. Well done gory effects by Greg Nicotero, Robert Kurtzman from Kane B. And Kane Hodder when he's there as Jason. Great job once again as Jason. Cool to see him like in a non-character role, like he plays an FBI guard, whatever. And it's cool he gets to like do Freddy Krueger's glove. He's like, ha. So yeah, and it's I'm for 88. Well, on the cover it says 88 minutes, but Wikipedia is not always real. Oh no, never mind. It's this film comes with the R-rated cut and the unrated cut. The R-rated R-rated cut is 88 minutes, and the unrated cut is 91 minutes. Forgot when you choose. You can choose a rated version or the uncut version. I always go for the uncut version. But yeah, without that credits, it's still under 90 minutes still. But I really enjoy this one. It's definitely the most underrated in the series. I really do enjoy this film. Yeah, well, I think this would be my top 3. But put this, Part 7, and I'll probably have to say maybe Part 4 or Part 6. But yeah, this is right here, unrated and R-rated version. And Fangoria says this is the most incredible ending we've ever seen. Maybe because they're referring to the Freddy vs. Jason at the end, maybe. But I really enjoyed that ending as well. For features, has a commentary with director Anna Marcus and screenwriter Dean Laurie. Has a TV version of additional scenes and scene selection and trailer. So nothing else for features besides the commentary and that's it. So yeah, so hope you enjoyed this review of Freddy vs. Jason. If anyone was a fan of this film, good for you. But I don't think this doesn't deserve the hate that it gets. That's why I'm putting it as the most. That's why I'm putting it the most underrated in the franchise. I like a lot better. Definitely a lot better than Jason Takes Manhattan. I also say I like this better than Jason X. But I don't think it doesn't deserve the low ratings that it gets. I really enjoy this film. That's why I'm saying this is the most underrated one in the series. But yeah, so that's basically it. Definitely a 2 thumbs up for me on Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. And stay tuned for the 10th entry in the series, Jason X, where he's in space. Later.